So get this. If someone completely steals your credit card and goes on a massive shopping spree, your liability under federal law is actually capped at just $50. Yeah, you heard that right, just 50 bucks. It's this incredibly powerful piece of consumer protection that offers instant financial relief in what is, let's be honest, a really stressful situation. But actually claiming that protection and fighting back against billing errors, well, that requires knowing exactly how to navigate the system.
Welcome to this explainer. I am so thrilled you're joining us today because we are going to empower you to handle your finances with absolute confidence. We're breaking down exactly how to dispute a charge on your U.S. bank card. Whether you're dealing with flat-out fraud or just a really frustrating billing mix-up, knowing how to trigger an official investigation is an absolutely vital skill to have in your back pocket. So let's dive right in.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with spotting unauthorized charges. Look at the steps before you dispute, walk through contacting U.S. Bank, cover following up on those disputes, and finally, understanding the possible outcomes.
All right, Section 1. Spotting unauthorized charges. Identifying errors and fraud quickly is your very first line of defense. Now keep in mind, it's not just outright identity theft that you can dispute. You can fight simple math errors, like a tip that was added incorrectly at a restaurant, or duplicate processing. When you get charged twice for the exact same cup of coffee. You can also file claims for undelivered or damaged items if the merchant won't help you out. And even missing statement credits. That's when you've returned something to a store, but the refund just never showed up on your account. Checking your statement regularly for these specific issues is crucial.
But here is a really important distinction. Not all cards are treated the same under the law. Credit card transactions are protected by the Fair Credit Billing Act, while debit cards, because they're tied directly to your actual cash, fall under something called Regulation E. These two legal frameworks dictate entirely different timelines for the bank to investigate and resolve your claim, which is exactly why U.S. Bank handles them in slightly different ways.
Which brings us to Section 2, steps before you dispute, because preparation is absolutely your best defense.
Before you start gathering your receipts, let's look at the powerhouse behind your rights. This 1974 federal law, the Fair Credit Billing Act, is basically your secret weapon. It gives you the legal right to withhold payment on the disputed amount and any related interest while the bank actually investigates. That means the bank cannot send collections after you, and they can't tank your credit score over the specific charge while your case is open. That is a massive protection for you.
But listen, there is a major pitfall you need to avoid here. A great initial step is always to contact the merchant directly. A lot of times an honest mistake, like a missing package, can be fixed by the seller way faster than a whole bank investigation. However, while you're doing that, do not make the common mistake of ignoring the clock. You have a strict 60-day deadline, starting from the date of the statement where the error first appeared, to file your official dispute with the bank. If you miss that 60-day window, you could completely lose the protections you're entitled to.
So if the merchant isn't playing ball, it's time to gather your evidence. U.S. Bank might ask for things like order confirmation emails, receipts, or screenshots of the transaction. Crucially, you want to keep a record of your attempts to contact the seller because this proves to the bank that you tried to resolve it on your own first. Oh, and if you're dealing with outright identity theft, you'll definitely want to have a police report or a fraud affidavit ready to go. Doing all this pre-work reduces the administrative back and forth and really minimizes the risk of your claim being denied.
Okay, you're prepared. Let's move to Section 3, contacting U.S. Bank and actually initiating your dispute.
U.S. Bank has actually created a really seamless digital flow for this, and it's super easy to navigate. You just log into your U.S. Bank mobile app or your online banking dashboard, navigate to your account, click on the specific transaction in question, and expand the details. You'll see a clear option to click Dispute this transaction. From there, the platform just guides you through a tailored questionnaire about exactly what went wrong. You can even upload your supporting evidence right there on the spot. Just a quick heads up though, document uploads are restricted to a maximum of 2 files and there's a 5 megabyte file limit per document, so keep that in mind.
Now, if you can't dispute it digitally or maybe just prefer speaking to a real human, you can always call the automated system at the numbers on the back of your card. And if you prefer the old-fashioned paper route, you can absolutely mail a letter. Just be aware that U.S. Bank routes debit and credit card disputes to entirely different P.O. boxes in Fargo, North Dakota. So make absolutely sure you use the right one for your specific card type. And of course, include your name, card number, the transaction amount, and exactly why you believe a mistake was made.
Awesome, your claim is officially filed, but the process doesn't end there. Let's look at Section 4, following up on disputes, to understand what happens during the actual investigation.
So during this follow-up phase, U.S. Bank is coordinating with the merchant's bank and the card networks, and they will be sending you updates. Here's a fun fact. For your security, official letters from U.S. Bank about fraud arrive in unmarked white envelopes. They look a bit like a secret agent dossier, honestly. Do not throw them away thinking they're junk mail. If they ask for clarification in one of those letters, respond immediately. Treating a bank inquiry casually rather than like a case with a ticking clock is exactly how claims get derailed. Also, hold on to your evidence for a few months, because cases can occasionally resurface long after the initial ruling.
Here is the timeline you can generally expect. U.S. Bank will usually tell you the results within 10 business days. If they need a little more time, they can take up to 45 days for a standard investigation or up to 90 days for things like new accounts or foreign transactions. But here's the really great news. If the investigation takes longer than 10 business days, they will usually apply a provisional credit to your account for the disputed amount. That gives you access to those funds while they figure the whole thing out. Finally, a formal resolution letter is sent when the case is officially closed.
And that brings us perfectly to our final section. Section 5, Understanding Possible Outcomes. What does this resolution actually mean for your bank balance?
It really boils down to two main scenarios. If the investigation concludes in your favor, any provisional credit that was applied to your account just becomes permanent. You won. The error is completely fixed and you're good to go. But on the flip side, if the resolution is found in the merchant's favor, any provisional credit you received will be reversed. You will get a letter notifying you of this, and your normal payment schedule and financial obligations for that specific charge will resume.
But wait, what if you lose and you fundamentally disagree with the bank's finding? Well, a denial is not necessarily the end of the road. U.S. Bank will send you a detailed letter explaining exactly why they denied it. If you have new arguments or new evidence you didn't submit the first time, you can formally appeal the decision. You can do this by calling U.S. Bank Fraud Operations directly at 866-737-6844, or you can even schedule a meeting at a local branch to sit down and review your case in person.
Now, before we wrap up today, I do want to leave you with this really important reminder. While the information and steps we've covered in this explainer are completely accurate as of our production, banking policies and federal regulations do evolve over time. We always encourage you to confirm current processes directly with U.S. Bank or just double-check your specific cardholder agreement.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Are you checking your statements closely enough to catch the next billing error before your 60-day window completely runs out? Because knowing your rights is really only half the battle. Actively monitoring your finances is what truly keeps your money safe. I really hope this explainer empowered you to take control of your financial security today. Keep a close eye on those statements, stay informed, and hey, never be afraid to dispute a charge when you know you're in the right.